Hey, you. Don't you even think about it, son.
My leg!
Well, broken is it, eh?
Well, it feels like it!
What's your name?
What do you want to know for I've done nothing?
You've done nothing.
Hey, did
eh?
he
So,
steal it?
What's
If
this
he's
in here,
nailed
eh?
down, they steal
Eh?
it, and I lose
Fine, I've
everything.
done
Listen,
nothing.
why aren't you at school, son, eh?
Because I
Give you
forgot the
cheek,
way.
I steal
Down!
everything.
In you go.
I put up a sign in the shop, no children on their own.
Yeah, look, I'll be back for a statement later, okay?
You are now entering the Twilight Zone.
18 grand. Walk in with a shooter and walk out with 18 big ones.
Looks easy, doesn't it?
Too easy, which is why we've got to pull them fast before there's an action replay.
What about the robbery squad?
Oh, they'll be trampling all over it soon enough. But meanwhile, it's still ours.
I've got a
Now,
straight...
hold on, Ted. Like I say, it's still ours. And I bet that bastard was grinning under that mask. I could feel it. Which means it's time to call in a few favours. Now I need names, and fast.
Bloke with the painting. The way he walked, his eyes as he looked up. He looked like Kevin Lovett to me.
Cousin Kevin? Could be. Let's have another look.
That's him. Cousin Kevin.
Might be. Just might be. But home movies of a geezer in a funny hat aren't going to convince a jury. Viv, Jim, I want you to go back and talk to that cashier again. Find out if she remembered anything in the wee small hours. Colour of their eyes, patterns on their socks, what the toe rags smelt like, anything. Michael, I want you to go and find out all you can on the Lovitts off Ron Smollett. That should keep you busy. Ted, you and I will go and listen to Cousin Kevin's alley lie.
You're limping on the wrong leg.
I'll say you did it, then you'll be for it.
Sure, I'm quaking.
Cut the last of the great train robbers there, George.
Nah, that's more in his dad's league, isn't it, Mark?
What, you know him, sir?
Oh, yeah. I've nicked his dad and his brothers. Is Tony out yet, Mark? What you have here, George, is one Mark Webb, the youngest in a long line of villains. Join the family business, have you, Mark?
Shoplifting, sir.
Oh, yeah. You had him in your motor?
Yeah.
Check the wheels before you set off.
Hello, George. What you got?
He tried to break my leg.
Shoplifting, Sarge. One cassette tape. Right, empty your pocket, sunshine.
You should be in school. What's your name?
His name's Webb. Mark Webb, Sarge. Appears we know his family quite well.
Oh, Mark Webb. At least we know your address. How old are you, Mark? 9, would you say, George?
Maybe 10, tops.
I'm 12, 13 this year.
All right, stick him in the detention room, George, then go and fetch his mum.
I don't get it. Why would Michael let Kevin pull a robbery on his patch? Doesn't make sense.
Because he hasn't got his old man savvy. He might be able to add up backwards and spot a profit at 50 paces. But he doesn't have the respect.
Hey, Gopler.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear, oh, dear. Cousin Kevin's motor. Seems like somebody wants to spoil his day.
Yeah, heartbreaking, isn't it?
Must be a family party. Michael's wheels.
Perhaps he's come round to help Kevin count the loot.
Yeah? What do you want?
Hello, Sylv. You going to invite us in? How are you?
Hey!
Hello, Michael. Social call. I hope for your sake that you've got a warrant, Burnside. I don't need one. Sylvia invited us in. Oh. We turned down a cuppa. So, could you tell your old man that we'd like to have a chat with him?
What do you want with him? He's clean.
Oh, I'm sure he is, Michael. But I think we'll let Kevin tell us that for himself.
He's not here.
Well, where is he?
That's family business, Burnside. What do you want him for?
That's police business, Michael. So where was your old man yesterday afternoon, about 3:30?
How should I know?
You want to keep tabs on a wild boy like Kevin? Never know what he might get up to.
Just get out of here, leave us alone.
Oh, I see. So he wasn't in the warm embrace of his nearest and dearest then?
So you can't swear he wasn't turning over the London and National Bank? We get some lovely film to prove that he was. Oh, we didn't tell you. Yeah, a little tickle on the side. Naughty Kevin.
Wouldn't have happened in your old man's time, Michael. You want to keep more control.
Have you finished, Burnside?
No. So, you're going to save us all a lot of time and tell Kevin that we'd like to talk to him.
You tell him yourself.
If you can find him.
Oh, we'll find him, all right. And when we do, you'll know exactly where he is. High price to pay for a respray.
You should tell him the brake fluid goes under the bonnet.
I think you'd better leave.
Oh, we're going.
Now.
We'll call back for the cuppa. Send all up to Kevin. If you see him.
Bit of a gardener then, Sarge, is he, this Webb fella?
That's Alma. Gordon Webb runs the business and most of the villains around here, but Alma rules the roost at home. Now, if she says jump, everyone jumps. No one comes down until she says so. Now, we wouldn't dare go in Alma's garden.
What do you want?
Hi, Janie. Your mum at home?
No, she's out. They're both out. What do you want her for?
It's about Mark.
What's happened to him? He is all right, isn't he?
No, he's fine, he's fine. He's down at Sunhill. He's been thieving. When's Alma getting back?
I don't know. Not till later. They've gone uptown.
Oh, that's all right. A sister can stand in repairing.
Look, I've got things to do.
Look, Janie, it's either you or the social services. Hey, you don't want Mark going home, do you? Come on, it's not going to take long.
Okay, I'll come. Tony! Tony! The pigs have nipped Mark. I'm going to go down.
What do they reckon he's done?
Feed him. I'll see you later.
You better be straight back with him.
Get stuffed.
Fancy one?
I'm drinking here if they sold single malt on draft.
On the house, Mr. Burnside.
Not even for free, Jacko. As it happens, I'm looking for a pal of mine. Kevin Lovett.
Never heard of him.
Well, that could be true. A villain like Cousin Kevin. You wouldn't notice him in here. He'd sort of blend in with the place.
Could be true.
Yeah, that bunch in the corner could be 18.
Yeah, I suppose they could be. Should we ask them?
Leave it out, Mr. Burnside. Kevin Lovett hasn't been in for days.
That's better, Jacko. So, if he hasn't been leaning his elbow on your greasy bar, where do you suppose he has been planting it?
Oh, I don't know, Mr. Burnside. He wouldn't tell me, would he?
Trade must be getting very slack, Jacko. I mean, if Cousin Kevin takes his custom elsewhere, maybe we could make it up. Now get some of the lads to drop in.
That's a good idea, T. Mind you, they wouldn't be able to get here till closing time. And even then, they wouldn't be able to have a drink. Not in uniform.
Honest, Mr. Burnside, I don't know where Kevin is. Nobody believes me, but I don't.
Nobody? Who else has been asking?
Nobody.
You believe that, Ted?
I don't think Jacko would know the truth if it jumped up and bit him.
Do you still see that pal of yours, the Vat Man?
Oh, yeah, he likes to drop into a pub now and again. Usually when it's least expected.
Tony Webb's been in looking for him. And he doesn't want to shake his hand neither.
Falling out of thieves?
Yeah. Well, word has it that Kevin's staying out of the frame for a while. Out of the way of Michael and the family too. That's all I've heard, honest.
Thank you, Jacko. I'll pop in for that drink another time.
Yeah. Well, don't hurry.
Webbs versus Lovett's.
Sounds promising. I want a ringside seat for this one, Ted.
This one might help.
Cheers.
The Lovets. You'll be all day if I know that family.
It's got to be done. Looking for a skeleton in the Lovett cupboard.
Fun.
Oh, Tom. Go. What's your rally?
Gov?
I hear you've got Mark Webb in the playroom.
No way, sir.
Alec.
He's 12 years old. It's not on.
It's an urgent interview. Pace, Annex C, immediate risk of harm to persons. Come on, let's have him.
You still need Mr. Conway's say-so.
I'm not going to lean on him. You can leave your man in there with me.
You know the rules, sir. Only in the presence of a parent or guardian. It's my neck.
2 minutes, Alec. I'll treat him like China. You know the Webbs.
Frank, a word, please.
Now, before you get excited, I was only asking.
You were leaning on Sergeant Peters.
I just wanted a word.
With a 12-year-old child?
With a Webb. They're born villains, all of them.
You go by the book on my relief.
Oh, yeah? And will the book tell me why the Webbs are trying to start a war with an even bigger family of slags before his kith and kin and the Lovett start tearing each other apart?
If you've got a feud on your hands, then we'll nip it in the bud. By the book. If your Webbs want to fight, then read them the riot act and feel their collars when they step out of line. That way, nobody gets hurt and we get a result. Now, that's policing. Prevention of crime, protection of life and property.
Yesterday, two geezers stuck a pistol up a bird's nose and walked off with 18 grand. And since one of them could be Kevin Lovett, interrupting little Marky's playtime for 2 minutes doesn't seem to me too high a price to pay, whatever it says in your book.
If you want to interview a juvenile, you do it in front of his parents.
Stuff it.
Interview room, George.
Sarge, this way, please, Miss Webb. I'll be with you in just a moment.
No go?
That cashier come up with anything, Viv?
Nothing new there, Gov, except she liked the aftershave one of the villains was wearing.
Oh, great. I'm pleased for her. What about Ron Smollett? Did he come up with anything?
Only about 10 volumes, but nothing new. Traffic have found the car they used, and the Socko Circus is giving it the once-over.
Yeah, well, it'll be clean if Cousin Kevin's our man. He's not very popular at the moment. The whole world wants him. But I want my share first. So, Ted, I want you to go and sit outside the Webbs.
Gotcha. But when Jenny gets back with the boy, they'll spot us.
I hope so. Viv, I want you to haunt the Lovets and don't bust a gut making yourself invisible.
Mark is here because I saw him steal a cassette tape from a shop in the High Street this morning. I'm now going to take a statement from him. Now, this will be forwarded, together with other appropriate documentation, to the Youth and Community Services.
Yeah, all right.
The purpose for your presence here isn't simply to observe. You're also here to advise Mark and to explain anything to him which he may not understand.
All right, do you want to get on with it? It'd be grown up before we get out of here.
Right, you understand why you're here, Mark?
Yeah, I nicked the tape.
Oi, cut that out!
What's that for?
What for? What for? Because you've been caught. And that is because you've been told before. Never admit nothing. Shut up.
What the hell happened here, Kath?
No, some sort of explosion. One of the firemen reckons someone threw a petrol bomb through the window. Well, there's glass inside and the whole room seems to have gone off at once.
Anybody hurt?
No, there's no one in.
Anybody see anything?
Nah, one of them thinks there was a car outside before the fireworks, but she's not really sure.
Okay.
Do you need us any more, Sarge?
No, we'll clear up here.
Sierra 1 from Sierra Oscar receiving.
Sierra 1, go ahead, Steve.
Sierra 1, Mandela Way on the Jasmine Allen estate. A serious assault. Ambulance called. Origin 5724.
Sierra 1, we're on our way.
And the older boy with the dark hair said if I didn't steal a cassette for him, he would beat me up. I did not want to steal the cassette, but I was frightened. Is that right, Mark?
Of course it is.
Please, Miss Webb? Mark, is that right?
Yeah. Him and his mates. They had a knife. They said they'd cut me.
And you haven't been in trouble before, have you, Mark?
Not with the police.
Look, have you finished yet?
Excuse me, sir. All right, what we got?
Multiple stomach wounds. Half a dozen at least. They look quite deep.
Is he alive?
Just.
Come on.
He's lost a lot of blood.
Did he say anything?
This one will be lucky if he ever speaks again. Whoever did this means business. Yep.
Did you recognise him?
Kevin Lovett, right?
Mike Dashwood's got an interest in the Lovets. Listen, I better go with him. Let Mike know for me, will you?
Sure can.
Broad daylight, eh? You wouldn't credit it, would you?
Happens, sir.
Quiet couple, too. Him and his young lady.
Know him, do you?
Well, not really. He's new around here. He's just moved into my block. In Bolivar Walk.
You know which flat, sir?
At number 51.
Any action, Viv?
Nothing. He's been in about half an hour. I haven't seen anyone else.
Has he spotted you?
Straight off. He comes to the window every few minutes to check whether I'm still here.
Good. We're getting to it. Stick at it.
Great.
All this on the wages of sin.
Beats working for a living.
Criminal, isn't it, Gov?
I won't argue with that. Hello, Michael. Can you spare us a few moments?
And I say no and you say we do it here or down the nick, right?
Something like that.
You ought to send your girl home, Burnside. She's getting very bored.
Oh, I couldn't do that, Michael. She's your protection.
Well, this better be important. You've got 30 seconds.
I wouldn't be too sure about that. Tony Webb is a nasty piece of work, and he's got it in for you and yours.
I've got no idea what you're talking about.
And when he finds out that your boys have centrally heated his family home, he's going to go berserk.
Is that some kind of accusation?
Now just shut up and listen, Michael. Now, I couldn't give a toss what you and the Webbs do to each other. I couldn't care if they wreck your entire fleet of motors, or whether you burn their stye to the ground. As it happens, it'd be a bonus.
Dashwood receiving, go ahead.
Fairy stories, Burnside. Pure speculation.
Oh, yeah. Well, then I'll save you the cost of a standard. There was no one at home when your boys got round to Western Road, which is a bonus for you, because we'd be trampling all over this place if you barbecued the Webbs. As it is, I'm more interested in copping hold of Kevin before he starts waving his shooter around again.
Ah, now we get to it.
I'm going to have him sooner or later. Now, the deal is, you make it sooner, I'll get Tony Webb off your back.
I'm sorry, Burnside. Even if what you're telling me made any sense at all, I couldn't deliver. Kevin has gone away.
Well, it couldn't be far. He must be somewhere on the manor.
Gov.
Oh, nice. Well, I've enjoyed our little chat, Michael, but something's come up. I'll call back later.
It's a stabbing. We found him on the pavement.
Right, OK.
All right, quick lads, recess room.
Bit down market for cousin Kevin, isn't it?
You're a snob, Michael. Where is it?
Upstairs.
Where I was brought up, this would be luxury.
Well, that's not bad, I suppose. Second home.
You are a snob, aren't you?
On the right, number 51. There's no one in, but there's no key. I looked. He left it open.
Watch the door. Looks like Kevin's going on holiday.
Yeah. And not alone.
Naughty Kevin. No wonder Sil's got the hump. Jackpot.
Well, that's Kevin banged to rights.
Not necessarily. You'll swear blind he won this lot of the dogs. And you'll have witnesses. Not exactly homely, is it?
Go.
That'll do nicely. Whistle up Ted Roach and get him down here with a warrant, pronto. I want to find these officially.
Sierra Oscar from Sierra Oscar 6.
Yeah, mate?
Yeah, Steve, can you get a message to Ted Roach for me, please? Mr. Burnside wants a warrant and a socko. Tony Stamp will give him the address.
Will do, mate.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
Right, let's take Kevin some flowers.
The surgeon will operate as soon as he gets down here. Even when he comes round, he's not going anywhere for a long time. He's lost a lot of blood. Look, there's a cafeteria. Can I buy you a cup of something?
Oh, yes, thanks.
How is he, Kath? 7 quite deep stab wounds, severe loss of blood, some internal injury, though not as much as you might expect, and trauma, of course. His condition is serious, but he's fit. He should survive. Well, perhaps another time.
Yes, thanks, Doctor.
Pity. I thought it might be fatal.
You bastard!
Yeah, hit me! Come here. Get hold of it, Michael. Get hold of it. Calm down. You pack it in, all right? Just pack it in, Janie.
You're here for Kevin Lovett.
Oh, Kevin!
Kath, go with her. Her? The black frillies? Touching, isn't it? No wonder the families are at war. I'll tell you what, if it was Tony Webb who perforated Kevin, we better get him inside and get his clothes down the lab before he burns them. Oh, yeah. And when we get back to the office, we'll have another look at that video.
Kevin and Janie, Sunhill's own Bonnie and Clyde.
Got a bag?
Okay, is everything clear?
Yeah, yes.
There you go.
All right, all on the bus.
There's no way we were getting to get him out, anyway.
The world's going mad.
We might as well be Save the Bomb or Ban the Unborn Whale. We've still got to cover it.
3 bricks a pound, marvellous.
So, Hollis and Ackland are on reserve and Stringer's on the serial uptown.
What about street cover?
Well, I've authorised fall from early.
Amazing, isn't it? Ask for normal manning up and we're told to be managers. But as soon as the status quo's threatened, the bank doors are flung wide open.
And should you need Garfield, I'll be using him in the property store, OK?
PC Quinnen!
Robocop.
He's a liability. Quinnen! Excuse me. Is ignorance and insubordination natural to you, Quinnen, or does it require hours of practice?
Sorry, sir?
You purposely ignored the Chief Inspector and myself.
Pardon?
Not 2 minutes ago. Didn't you hear me shout?
Well, I was well away with me Walkman, sir.
Don't we all wish you were, Quinnen?
Sir, what is this? Have I done something wrong?
Dumb insolence might have been acceptable in your last job, but it doesn't wash with me. When you report for duty, you better be tuned in to what's ahead instead of mindless rubbish.
It was a Mandela concert.
I don't care what it was. It's your public image. You owe it to yourself, your uniform, and your shift to come to work properly turned out.
Sir.
Your appraisal's due. See me after refs. We might as well get your incompetence down on paper. Makes it official.
If you say so, sir.
Up a bit. A bit higher, Reg. Yeah, a bit more. Go on. Go, yeah. Yeah, that's it. Perfect. Now just stay there.
Now, that clip, June, pass us that clip.
Ah, that blue sky and fresh air.
The clip, please, come on.
What's you on about? Fresh air and blue skies.
The view up your nose. Very relaxing.
Take me for granted, isn't it?
Oh, flashes will be out in droves today.
Yeah, I used to be quite tasty with the old cat duck myself.
I'm fishing.
Nah, the Camberwell rocket I was known as. It's all about eye and muscle reflex action, balance and natural ability.
Pocket tennis, Hollis.
Oh, hello, sir.
Advantage, Conway.
Oh, we just borrowed that one. The other one went.
Just make sure it's returned, will you?
Oh, of course.
It's your biro, Sean.
Yes, sir.
Right, follow me.
Sir?
Go to Finchdale Mansions,
Good
Phil.
afternoon, Sam. Can I help
Flat 3. Just going outside. Don't run away, you're high priority.
What sort of dog was it?
The occupant is a Mrs. Gilbert. Now she's locked herself
Could
out.
have been in
There's a
Alsatian.
young child in the house, and the chip pan is on. So get to it.
But it
Quinnen
didn't
will
actually
meet you
bark
there
at
and
the boy.
assist. Over.
Bark at
My lips never moved.
Now, when I give this to duty sergeant for distribution, exactly as the machine swings it. $16.87. 87.
Yeah, it's a washing machine, sir.
Oh, you do surprise me. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the 6th time that's been blacklisted.
Well, it's my teller's case, sir.
Well, not when she took possession, it wasn't. Right, 1890.
1890. Yeah, got it. It's tool bags.
Containing
Let's see. Well, sorted spanners.
5.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Pair of washing up gloves, some wire and a torch, sir.
And the case opener?
Oh.
A Jemmy Garfield.
Yeah, I know what it is, sir.
Well,
It's not here, sir.
yes, well, I'm sure it'll be found before the termination of duties, son.
Yes, sir.
Quinnen's appraisal, sir. I'm afraid I don't agree with your comments.
So you think he's got potential?
I think given the right kind of supervision, yeah.
Don't dance me round the table.
I'll stand by my opinion, sir.
Well, it certainly puts your judgment right on the line.
I haven't always seen eye to eye with the lad,
If
but...
you're going to treat them all like a mother hen, they won't get the supervision they need, will they?
Well, I'm not going to put the skids under Quinnen.
All right. But my comments on this report still stand.
Sir.
The planned demonstration against the visit to London by the American...
Loxton changed his mind.
Yeah, well, he knows where the business will be, doesn't he?
I was terribly sorry to interrupt, madam. Next time I'll bring you partridge eggs in aspic and put it on a silver plate.
Yeah, so what news at the property store, Mercury?
What?
John Dudley went
What
on
else are we hunting for apart from nets?
Didn't
you realise you're the message carrier?
Well, actually, the only point he really made about anything was Quinnen's Jemmy.
Not yet, we can almost find another one of them.
Exactly what he said.
10,000 people on the 5-mile route to Tower
What's
Bridge.
going on here?
A Metropolitan Police spokesman commented.
We're on standby, sir.
I know that, Hollis. Where's that from?
Reg.
Oh, there you are. I've been looking for you.
Yes, sir.
Hope you've got your free air freshener for that. A word, Andrew.
Certainly, sir.
I hope that's not broken.
No, sir.
I switched it off. I intend dealing with it later.
Oh, do you?
Area. It's It's expected to stay dry with...
Look, I've just spent over 2 hours in the black hole of Calcutta, and quite frankly, it's a disgrace.
Well, that's the property officer's problem, isn't it?
No, it's ours. The responsibility for obtaining disclaimers and return of goods is down to officers in charge of cases, unless I'm mistaken.
Yes, sir.
So, how come there are at least 6 items down to your relief that should have been returned weeks ago?
Such as, sir?
Such as a washing machine.
Oh, no, just a minute. That's Martella's. She's CID.
No, she was on your relief when it was acquired.
Well, that's letting CID well off the hook, if you don't mind me saying so.
Oh, don't worry. I've got a much bigger bone to pick with CID, but as far as uniform are concerned, A Relief are the worst.
OK, wrist slapped. But they're also busiest. Nobody tops us for bodies.
And you're going to plead that pressure justifies slackness, are you?
Of course not.
So, the stuff down there become an antique. Sorted, OK?
Those fish and chips were nice.
Very. Nice lady.
Saves on rafts, doesn't it?
It's the recreation I was thinking about.
Oh, I was wincing when you bust that door.
Oh, made her day, mate. She's probably sitting there thinking about it right now.
What a mess, though.
Yeah, that's all right. I'm fixed to go back there later. Sort her out. I better get in. I'm ferret face. I ain't talking to them. It's got about as much personality as a house brick.
We see you together now. I'm going to get a right rollicking.
Blame Kim. He can't put you in a family way.
I thought you were on foot patrol.
I am, sir, but PC Quinnan and I have been to a job.
Searching a trawler?
A new boot, sir.
Oh, yeah.
A woman locked out of the house.
And it took 2 of you?
Well, it was urgent, sir. Priority.
Yes, 2 hours ago. An entry? How did you get in? I want to know, son.
We just managed, sir.
The march started 3 hours ago amidst the controversy of a leaked confidential report in this morning's...
I've a couple of good videos you could slot in there.
Although the march was allowed to go ahead with a rerouting...
For those of you watching in colour, this transmission is in black and white.
John Dudley has blamed the newspaper for indicating...
Oh, I had to eat the cod first, June, otherwise it would have had me.
As a result, extra police were drafted in on standby. Trouble started
Hello,
as some
City
members
Morgue.
of the march broke away.
Oh, hello, sir. Yeah, he was a few minutes ago. I think he's gone back out on patrol. Make yourself scarce. Yes, yeah, I'll tell him. Me? Yeah, I'll be there. Great.
What have I done now, then?
That Jimmy of yours.
Yeah.
In Roseman, remember, a red curtain, and I got to report to him immediately. And the words from Alec Peters are, get out the station, make sure your radio's on the blink, and get run over by a bus.
4-minute warning gone up or something?
Oh, no. It's far worse. Marilyn wants a locker search.
Crowder and I could supervise this over the next couple of days.
Today, Sergeant.
Every locker?
Yes.
With respect, sir.
Oh, without Hollis, you're only here as Fed Rep, and should we find anything contrary to discipline, as a witness for the prosecution.
Can I have a word in private, please, sir?
This isn't negotiation, Sergeant.
Sir?
Shut up.
Yes, sir. And that is exactly the advice I shall be giving to my members.
We'll start with yours, Hollis.
But there's nothing in it, sir.
Key, please.
Sorry, False Catering.
This is ridiculous,
Sarge.
Don't
Can you proceed
But
to
I haven't had a
Barton
minute to
Street,
breathe,
please?
and I'm going to miss refs.
Oh, never mind that. If my locker's going to be searched, I want a woman present.
Well, tell Hollis.
Sorry, False
point in
Catering. Can you
that?
repeat, please? He's mad.
Stop that.
Well, he's not going through my private stuff.
I am not discussing the inspector, and whether you like it or not, he has the right and the duty to supervise.
The way he goes about it is the problem.
Well, we better make sure we've got nothing to hide then, hadn't we?
Why is there nothing in here?
There's nothing in the regulation says I have to have, sir.
Don't come the old soldier with me, Hollis.
Time's getting on, sir.
Yes. We're doing a locker search.
Yes, sir. But I would like another female officer present, if you don't mind.
Hollis is here to look after your interests.
I'm entitled to a female, sir.
Yeah, in the female locker room, sir. Propriety.
Contact Ackland.
Look, mate, all I know is that we're the charging centre, OK? Barton Street's going to have to find room.
All right, Bob. Bit of a harassing day.
Too right, sir.
Sussex 20 signs. Receiving, over.
Sierra Oscar receiving, go ahead, 29.
I've got a van with 6 customers on the way.
Received, 29, thank you.
What's the lip on for?
Mobile control room is dealing with that incident
Are you
487.
shutting me out?
You know that isn't my style.
Well, come on.
2 casualties needing treatment.
Manor Road at junction
Okay, I understand.
Well, there is something you're going to have to know about.
He's got no right to read my private letters.
All right, calm down, Marika. Look, Reg will take it up.
And to open them up for total public consumption. It's an invasion of my privacy.
Look, if I'd wanted a private life, I wouldn't have joined this mob. You've just got to learn to live with it.
He's a pig.
Yes. But he is still the inspector.
He's what?
Well, I suggest you have a word with Young. I think he holds the key.
Where's Quinn?
Dodgy radio.
Well, get him a good one.
Sir.
This place gets more like an overgrown creche every day.
Thank you, Stamp.
Can I get my refreshments now, sir?
Yes.
Only it's after 6, sir, and there's very little cover on the streets.
Let me worry about that.
OK.
Jumped up clown.
You know who started all this off, don't you?
Yeah.
Immaculate locker, sir.
Nothing more than I expect. We're not giving out medals.
You didn't deserve a rattling either, sir.
This one now.
He's still out, sir.
We'll do it in his absence, then.
The officer is entitled to be present, sir.
I don't have a duplicate key for his lock, sir.
Never stop to wonder why.
To be fair, sir, he did submit a report on the broken lock when he was allocated that locker.
Not through me, he didn't.
No, sir, but I pushed it straight through on the office furniture indent. You were on holiday.
Was I? OK, come on. Ackland next.
As you can see, I'm annoyed. But controlling it the best I can. Where is it? I'll spell it out. You and Quinnan will probably get a letter from Mrs. Gilbert.
Oh, actually, he's got that in hand.
Let me finish. Now, if my assessment of the situation is correct, bearing in mind that these aren't boils, then Quinnan supplied the means and the force to gain entry to the aforesaid premises. Am I getting warm?
Urgent paperwork not completed. Any reasons?
I've been busy, sir.
I can confirm that, sir.
This is private. 2 accident books and a disclaimer. You know this could be a disciplinary matter.
Could I have a look at the dates, Nat, sir? I'm sure there'll be a reasonable explanation.
Yes, do that. And I require a detailed statement on them as well, Sergeant.
Yes, sir.
As the standby is terminated and we're short on the streets, I'll see you later about this.
Right, sir.
She's the best policewoman we've got.
It should have been picked up by supervision.
If you don't mind me saying so, sir, we seem to be painting ourselves into a corner here.
Quinnan not showed yet? Right. Wait here, both of you.
This we can handle. I'm not so sure about what's glowing in there.
Quinnan's had this coming for a long time.
It annoys me.
I believe he's in the locker room, sir. I'm going to strangle Dave Quinnan for this.
You're forgetting it was me that was with him.
Oh, no. Is that Vindaloo again?
Don't tell me you've been to the Star of Goa.
Where's he gone now?
If you mean the inspector, sir, he's probably in orbit.
Yeah. Well, let's hope it isn't justified, eh?
I want Quinnan
Did you
now.
give me the registration number?
How long is this going to take, sir? I've got a residents' meeting to go to.
As long as it takes, Sergeant.
Yes, madam.
264 from Sierra
Inspector Munro to PC Quinnan.
It's a bad signal, sir.
Quinnan, get into the station at
State
once.
your location, please, Jack.
We have to talk.
I'm trying to contact Quinnan.
Sergeant Cry can do that. Come on. Am I to be enlightened on this?
The discipline of my relief reflects on me. About time they were stirred up.
Stirred up, he says. You got them spinning like dervishes.
That's settled yet?
Why don't you go and borrow your head?
Obviously not. Hey! You glassed me up, haven't you?
What could I do?
There's a word in the dictionary under L, loyalty. Look it up.
I don't think it'd be democratic to force it, sir.
Your show.
Sorry I'm late, but my radio...
Don't even try, Quinnan. Inspector?
Open your locker.
If I can interrupt on a legal precept, sir, PC Quinnan should be informed as to the full reasons.
It's all right, Red.
Dave, say nothing.
I have reason to believe you have a jemmy in that locker.
Be advised.
That's enough, Hollis. Either he has or he hasn't.
Just playing by the rules, sir.
Well?
It isn't locked, sir.
What do you mean?
The lock's snidey. For bluff, broken, look.
And we've been standing here. Where is it?
No, it's patently obvious to me, sir, that my colleague has been the victim of either a cruel joke or personal victimisation, sir.
I think we have something to discuss here, Andrew. And you lot better get back to coppering before they take this place off us. Right, we'll do this properly, shall we? 1890. All right, let's check the contents. 5 assorted spanners.
This is disgraceful. I've been stitched.
Not by me, Inspector.
I'm having this forensically checked.
Oh, no, you're not. And that is my decision.
This is a fiasco, Alec. It's going potty out there.
That in here, Bob.
Did he get what he wanted?
No, what he deserved.
We got him, sir.
Oi! Good lad. Does your credit.
I've got Quinnan here, sir, for his appraisal.
Tell him to wait.
Can I say something, sir, without being shouted at?
Straight talking, is it?
If you like, yeah. It's just that, well, I often wonder, if I was a kid again, and let's face it, most of them are, whether I'd still join.
You're telling me to treat them like adults?
Well, let me put it this way. When I ask them to do a job, it's Bob Cryer asking. And the day I have to cling to my rank for respect, well, that's the day I've lost.
Stuck with each other, aren't we?
You're a good bunch, sir. You lead, they'll follow.
I can't agree in Quinnan's case.
Well, I can live with that.
I'm not in the right frame of mind to see him now. I'll catch him tomorrow.
Sir. I think he'll be happier with that as well.
dustbins. This is a nothing job to beat all nothing jobs. I mean, why would anyone want to steal dustbins, eh? It's a wind-up.
Nah, you heard what Sergeant Cryer said? Now, there's something going on. There's a pattern, isn't there? 8 brand new metal dustbins nicked in a week and not one plastic one. Don't you think that's odd? I reckon we could be on worse jobs.
What? It's just a few kids mucking around. There's nothing to get worked up about. I mean, what do a few bins cost? This is a bad tour, this. I can feel it already. Area car. That's where I should be. Get some real action. What happens? I'm stuck in a pounder with Cheerful Charlie, Mr. Community Policing and missing dustbins.
Love you too, Dave.
Sierra Oscar 86, are you receiving? Over.
You're through, caller?
Dave, another bin's gone missing. Can you deal?
Why'd you have to send me a letter, eh? What can you tell me to my face?
It's not our decision. The letter's from the CPS, our lawyers. It won't stick in court. That's what they're saying. I'm sorry, Pam.
You're sorry. That man held a knife to my throat and tried to rape me. If it hadn't been for that car full of Oros coming round the corner with its lights blazing, he would have raped me. And all you can say is you're sorry. That makes me feel a lot better, that does.
Pam,
You don't believe me, do you?
I do believe you, but it's your word against his. We need proof, evidence. If that car had stopped, or if you talked to someone straight away, it'd be different.
I was too frightened. You know that. This is stupid. I know what this is really about. It's the way I look, that's what it is.
Yeah, okay. It's got something to do with it. And they said you had been in the club and you had talked to him.
It was a bouncer, for God's sake. I said, got any change for the fruit machine? It's hardly the old green light, is it? Go on, say it. I was asking for it. Pigs like that can do what they like. I can't dress like I want to and I'm not allowed to say no. Is that it?
Look, I'm on your side. Honestly. You should be able to go where you like and wear what you want. But it's not that simple, is it?
You sound like my mother.
Oi, Pam, ain't you finished yet?
Yeah, I'm finished.
Oh, Frank, could I have a quick word? This indecent assault that Martella's dealing with. Do I understand it's got something to do with Johnny Lyle's club?
Well, not exactly, sir, no.
Meaning?
Well, the suspect was assumed to be a member of Lyle's staff, but the actual attack wasn't linked in any other way with the premises.
Frank, you know what I think about that club. I don't care how useful it is to you. If I get one sniff of a complaint, I'm going to close it down for good, all right?
I think we have the situation under control there, sir. It's what I might call a state of continuous but informal surveillance.
But he should have come to us on Saturday night.
I told you, I was the worst for wear. There must have been something in the drink.
Yeah, knowing that place, it was probably water. I still haven't worked out how they get the corks back in.
That was a nice touch in there with the boss.
It was also rubbish, Frank, as you know damn well. What's so special about this place, anyway? I thought it was full of small fry.
It's the Bush Telegraph. Snout's paradise. There's more information comes out of that club than any LIO's office.
It's not worth crossing Brownlow just to keep it open.
Oh, yes, it is.
Well, you must have seen somebody. Now, was anybody eyeballing you in the club? Well, what about the cigarette case? That must have attracted some attention. And what did he say that was again?
22 carat gold. With my initials on. RDM.
Yeah, well, it's worth a bob or two with or without initials.
I didn't see anyone staring at either me or my cigarette case, okay?
Yeah, but you must have drawn attention to yourself, especially if you were winning, like you say.
I was winning. I did win. 500. Fair and square.
Look, all I'm trying to say is that Johnny's is a bit of a dive, that's all. Somebody with a lot of cash in them is going to catch the eye, especially if they're winning it from the house.
Listen, I was robbed. Now you're going to do something about it or not.
So you didn't hear anything, Mrs. Jevons?
What did you say? I'm sorry. I'm a bit hard of hearing.
Maybe we should try the neighbours.
I just came out this morning and it has gone. Why didn't they take the plastic bin? It's empty. Then they'd have made no mess.
I've no idea, Mrs. Jevons.
Well, what about him, Ricky Reynolds?
No.
No, you'd remember. He usually leaves his false teeth embedded in other people's limbs.
It's none of these people.
Well, that's all Johnny's stuff, or at least it was last time we checked. But you sure you'd remember anyway?
I don't know. There could have been bouncers. They were built like them. I just didn't see their faces.
No evidence, no result. NFA, standard CPS procedure. And what's wrong with that? So, crash it and get on with something useful. There's plenty to do.
Gov, I think she's right.
Look, you heard what Whittaker said. I mean, you interviewed him. There she was, wearing nothing but a belt, giving him the come on. And then she wants to drop him in it?
That's not what happened. Anyway, he used a knife.
Which he denies. And there are no witnesses. And definitely no character witnesses.
Couple of more days on it.
Listen, Viv, you know me. I'm a caring and sensitive man. But as far as this case goes, that bird is a little scrubber who got what she asked for, all right? Now, if she'd been a nun... Something I said?
Gov, we'd save ourselves a lot of trouble if Johnny's club was just closed down.
Oh, not you as well. It's that Mackenzie bloke, isn't it? Another dive bomber. Lose it.
I'm serious. It's wall-to-wall trouble. I don't care how many snouts pop in there for a quick half.
Yeah, that's because you don't run any snouts. If you did, you'd care.
I should at least go back and ask a few questions.
Oh, so he's a really deserving case, is he? I mean, he gets rat-arsed, wins an illegal card game, and then expects to walk with his takings. If that's what happened.
I'd just like to find out.
What is it with you two? Moral Crusade week?
Well, you did put me on this one, Gov.
Yeah, my mistake. I didn't know you were going to get all righteous about it. All right. If you want a quick chat, make it quick. But I don't want any waves about that place. Not a ripple. You understand?
You know I ask, don't you? It's that old song, I Dream of Jeannie with the light brown hair. You got a light brown hair, Jeannie?
We're
It's
closed!
John's name, actually.
I said we're closed, dog breath. That's Detective Constable dog breath to you. I want to see Johnny, now.
I'll see if he's available.
Who's he?
I don't know, I'm not going to find out.
What a dump, mate.
I'm on Brownlow's side. Close it down. Close them all down.
Mr. Carter, isn't it?
Carver.
Yeah. Well, what can I do for you?
I'd like a little chat. Somewhere private.
Yes, of course. And what about your lovely colleague?
If you mean me, I'll stay here, thanks.
There's no vice here.
And I'd like a word with you and all.
No drugs neither, I can promise you that. I've got plans for this place, Mr. Carter. Big plans, high class.
Oh, don't tell me. You're going to put mineral water in the champagne?
This place is just the start. I'm thinking of opening a North London branch. I'm going to call it Johnny's in Hampstead. Got a ring to it, hasn't it?
No.
I don't know how you're talking about. What did you say she was wearing?
You heard the first time.
Sounds like I'd remember. If I'd seen her.
Well, well, well. If it isn't Detective Martini.
Hello, Mr. Whittaker.
I see you've got new heavies. Did you have Ricky put down?
Put down? That's very good. No. No, it was time for a change. Better class of security to go with my new image.
Who's the gorilla outside?
You mean Jimmy?
Surname?
Gooden. It's clean. No record, you can check.
You had any trouble in here recently?
Recently? Not since I got my new boys in.
Saturday night. You had a punter in here called Mackenzie. He reckons he won 500 quid at cars and was rolled outside.
Outside? Well, there you are. What happens outside's nothing to do with me.
I thought we'd been through all this. I didn't have a knife. She gave me the come on, okay? Anyway, listen. What am I supposed to think? She's the good time that's been had by all.
That's a very old joke, and it's not funny.
Could Jimmy and Mickey come into the manager's office, please?
Between you and me, darling, she's a lying slag.
Yeah? Well, I believe her.
Mackenzie? No. No, I'd remember. Scottish, was he?
There you are. I knew it.
Wait a minute. Was it that bloke who was really drunk?
Oh, right. The bloke who couldn't stand up. Yeah. Anyone could have done him.
He was like a baby.
There you are. That's your answer.
You stand her up in court and see what happens.
Maybe I will.
So, that's it then, is it? All right then, are we? Hunky-dory.
Come on, let's go.
You finished?
Yeah.
Give my best wishes to Mr. Burnside, will you? I want them off my back, Frank. I've scratched yours many a time, now you scratch mine.
You carry on like this, Johnny, and I wouldn't scratch yours with a 10-foot loofah. You're out of order, and so are those new gorillas of yours.
OK, I had problems with them at first, but I've got it well in hand now. Stand on me.
500 quid the geezer took off you, and you had to get it back, didn't you?
Now, would I do such a thing?
Now you listen, while you've got attempted rapes and robberies going on, I don't know you. And if my kids come up with the goods, you'll swing. You got that?
Do you realise we spend our lives listening to people lying to us? Gooden's lying, Harding's lying, Johnny lying. And for all I know, Mackenzie could be lying too.
Pam isn't lying, and that's all we need to know.
We're going to have to drop it. We're going to have to drop both of them.
Yeah, just like Burnside wants us to.
Or maybe he's right for once.
Oh, come on, we can crack it.
Oh, yeah.
Why don't we go and talk to Ricky Reynolds? He might know something.
Like what? Why should he tell us?
That lot lost him his job, that's why. Well, come on, it's worth a try, isn't it?
What's he done this time?
Nothing, Mrs. Reynolds. We'd just like to chat with him.
You said that before, and a fortnight later he's in Risley.
This is just a friendly chat.
Oh, yeah? Well, he's at work.
Security job, is it?
No, dear, he's got a new set of teeth and gone into male modelling.
But just suppose, right?
Supposing what? Another bingo's missing. Leave it out. I told you this is a rubbish job.
A rubbish job. Did you get it?
Is that a joke?
Oh, you make me laugh, you do. Yeah. You want a joke? Here's a joke, right? There's this Birmingham City fan, right? And he's at a match and he turns around to the bloke next to him and he says, "Oi!" He shouts, "Oi!" He has to because the bloke standing next to him's about 50 yards away.
What's that look like to you?
What's what look like?
What do you want?
We'd like a chat about this.
Hello, Ricky. Your wife said you were still in the security business.
I told you, they're just kids. They came to me with the bins and I cut them up just like they wanted. That's all I did.
Cut them up? What for?
For nothing. They're crazy.
Well, local kids, are they?
Yeah, I see them around.
Do you know where they live?
No.
Do you know their names?
No.
Well, can you describe any of them?
Yeah. They're white.
Don't get smart.
Did they pay you for this work?
They brought me a beer. You want to charge me with that?
Listen, this isn't a joke, pal. We're talking stolen property here and you're in the frame, understand? So you either come up with the goods or we're going to pull you in, because quite frankly, I don't believe a word.
You call this community policing? The bloke you want calls himself the Rebel.
The Rebel?
He'll be at the community hall this afternoon. OK?
What's he doing there?
Not a lot, man. Not a lot.
Well, thanks for your help. I'm a bit of a reggae fan myself, actually.
No more promises, no more guys.
Johnny said he chucked you out.
Never.
Or maybe Dave Whittaker did it for him.
You want to know about that place? That lot will bleed him dry. They're violent, vicious thugs looking for trouble.
We need a lot more than that. We need to know what's gone on since you left.
Talked to Noddy Potter, bar manager. They sacked him Sunday night. Last of the old guard.
Where can we find him?
Try Canley Farm.
What's he doing there?
He talks to the pigs.
Hello, Noddy. The name's Norman, and I'm busy.
So we see. We get paid for this?
Nah, none of us do. Love, that's what we do it for. Because you lot wouldn't understand it. Love, not money. Nah, pigs. They're intelligent. You know that? Nicer than humans. And clean. It's humans make them dirty. I love them.
We know. Ricky told us.
Oh, yeah? What do you want, anyway?
Oh, just a chat.
I said I'm busy.
It's about the club. You might want to talk to us. Not a happy ship, that's what Ricky says.
Full of rats and sinking fast.
Ricky said you'd lost your job.
He's got a slack gob.
What happened?
Ask Whittaker and his yobs.
Their fault, was it?
They spoiled everything.
Yeah? Well, tell us about it.
They're just rats. I don't like rats. Not like pigs.
We don't like Whittaker or his boys either. In fact, we'd like to nail them. You can help us, Noddy. At least that's what Ricky says.
Oh, yeah?
2 things happened at the club last weekend, didn't they? A bloke was rolled and a girl was attacked. We want to know who was involved.
How much?
What do you mean?
What's it worth? Well, that's what it's all about, isn't it? Got to eat, ain't I?
Oh, no. I'm not having that.
How much?
50.
What you offering?
Names.
Here we go.
Names, you said?
That's a long story.
Sure, no.
Gooden and Harding. They robbed that bloke. And Johnny knows about it because he kept his cigarette case. I've seen him put it in a safe.
What about the attack on the girl?
Yeah, he knows about that too.
How do you know?
Oh, I reckon that's worth at least another 25.
Which one of you's the rebel? Sammy O'Dwyer? Does your dad know about this?
No, it's a surprise.
What's this supposed to be?
It's a dustbin band.
A dustbin band?
Yeah, like a steel band. Only better. It's really happening music, man.
Really happening theft, more like. Come on, names.
Where are you going?
You don't give up, do you? Back again so soon, Mr. Carter? Well, perhaps you'd better move in. We've got a spare room upstairs.
Cut the sewage, Johnny. We know what's going on.
What am I supposed to have done now?
Nothing. You've done nothing. That's the problem.
Happy with your staff, are you?
They're good boys, I told you.
You're in charge then. They do what you say.
I'm the boss, yeah.
That's crap. They're a pack of Rottweilers and you know it.
They're house trained.
What about outside?
Ah, that's none of my business.
It is if they break the law and you know about it. Now, why did you take Whittaker on? Did you find him, or did he come to you?
Came to me and offered his services.
He threatened you.
Oh, it's rubbish.
Why did Reynolds and Potter go?
I told you. They were tired old men, they couldn't hack it anymore.
Whittaker kicked them out.
I kicked them out.
Can't you see what's going on? Whittaker wants this club, and when he's ready, he'll take it. You'll be kicked out like the others.
Listen to me, Johnny. We can do each other a big favour. You know what happened last weekend.
Not true.
We talked to Reynolds and Potter. Most helpful they were. Noddy told us about you and Whittaker having a dust-up over his assault. Don't try it on with the customers, you said. Now, We can do a deal. You tell us about the assault and the robbery, and we'll put Whittaker and his boys away. They'll be off your back. You can run the club again, back to normal.
You don't listen, do you?
We listen to Reynolds and Potter.
Well, get them to stand up in court then if they know so much. They're men with a grievance. Things are fine here. Understand? Hunky-dory.
OK, then, if you want to play it like that, open the safe.
Why should I?
Because my chief super wants to close this place down. All he needs is a bit of encouragement, and I intend to encourage him.
Mr. Burnside might not agree with you.
Burnside wouldn't give a toss. He doesn't need you. You're just convenient. Understood? Now open up.
Satisfied?
Where's the cigarette case?
What cigarette case?
Gold, monogrammed, RDM. Now don't mess me about.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm going to give you one last chance, Johnny. I'm being generous.
You saying you're prepared to do a deal with me? Well, that's nice to know for the future. But as for the allegations against my staff, they're totally unfounded.
Oh, come on!
Funny, isn't it? How we only hear what we want to hear. Well, there we are. Now we've had this experience, we all know each other a little better, don't
Do you think we've deprived the world of a deep cultural experience? No.
It's a learning experience, isn't it? I mean, you've got to make sure you get value for money.
If Lyle or his mob ever step out of line, I'm going to have them.
But you mustn't close the place down, Jim. It's too useful.
That's what I like about you two. Single-minded. The untouchables. Oh, which reminds me. Someone brought these up for you. For Mr. Carter and his lovely colleague. With thanks, Johnny. But as I don't like to see my officers compromised in any way, I'll take care of these. It's for your own good.
Oh, no. Don't tell me they briefed Warner. What's wrong with him? Don't ask.
£3.
Hi. Hold these.
So you got that I haven't?
Tell you later.
I just might hold you to that.
I'm glad the Crown Prosecution's got a job for you, lads, because I think we've got a couple of hours to kill. There's an adjourned sentence and a trial on before us.
Trial's not
Great.
happening. Someone's leaned on the defendant. He's going to plead.
Well, I wish someone would lean on our Mr. Jameson, then we could all go home.
Get credit, though, wouldn't he?
What?
Mr. Jameson. If he goes guilty, the judge won't come down on him so hard.
Fancy a fight to the death, do you, Stephen?
Just want to see him sweat.
He knew I'd got some.
What's that? Exhibit A?
Sticky labels for counsel. He can't seem to function unless he's got them to mark up his debts.
That's Exhibit A. Can't believe it's someone's face.
For the ID parade, is it, sir?
I am the ID parade constable. Edward James Wren.
Andrew, how's the key witness?
I'm on my way to see her now.
Yeah, well, if I know Angie Wade, she's going to be in a right panic. Want me to have a little word?
No, thank you.
Well, I only thought I could have a
A
little
senior
chat.
officer, entirely independent of the main investigation, must have conduct of the ID parade.
Yeah, I know all that.
Yeah, our suspect's just checking in.
Terrific.
You can't see him either.
He's enjoying this.
Now enjoys a stable home life with his common law wife and 2 children aged 3 and 5. How can any woman enjoy a stable life with Gary Jameson? He's an animal.
I didn't write it.
Yeah, but you have to know what you're reading out, don't you? Hey, give Mr. Howes last drunk and disorderly. I had him for that. It was outside the afternoon pub back in May.
That was just a bind-over. The judge blows his top if you chuck in any BOs.
I've been thinking, Sergeant.
Inspector.
Inspector. I just can't go through with it.
It would help your own case quite considerably if you cooperated with us now.
I only saw him the once. After that, it was just some letters and phone calls to say he'd fix things.
But when you did see him, he was with you long enough to tell you exactly how to fiddle a loan out of the building society, wasn't he, Miss Wade?
I just wanted a house, didn't I? A place of my own. Is that so terrible? I had to have somewhere for my little boy. He was getting chest infections the whole time. This man said he was a financial advisor. He'd sort out some references for me.
False references.
They had to be, didn't they? They weren't going to lend me the money if I let on I'd just been made redundant.
So it was fraud, wasn't it?
I was going to pay it back one day. I mean, my redundancy money came to $1,200.
But first you had to pay the gentleman who gave you the advice.
Yeah. He just seemed so nice. He had a lovely smile.
Even if Angela Wade does pick him out, it's not going to be enough for the CPS, is it?
Could be a lever.
Thought you didn't think too much of ID parades, anyhow, Gov.
They have their place. You know what? He even stung her for the solicitor's fees. Dear oh Lord. Told her he found some geezer who could do the conveyancing on the cheap and then charged her over the odds.
Why are you so sure Reardon's behind this?
Because he's got his dirty little paw marks all over it.
And if she doesn't pick him out?
Don't even think about it.
Nothing to be nervous of, lad. I'm not nervous. Just because the defence counsel's like some mad Rottweiler when roused.
Andy could see you fancied his girlfriend.
Leave it out.
We're starting.
Incredible.
Then we're stopping.
What?
David Warner's made an application for a trial within a trial.
Wrangling over some legal mumbo-jumbo, are they?
He wants Jameson's admissions in the police car ruled as unsafe to set before the jury.
See on about.
According to Jameson, he was forced into making those confessions. You were out to nail him. You didn't care how you did it.
Yeah, well, he would say that, wouldn't he?
Oldest trick in the book.
Yes, well, Warner thinks he's got enough to go on anyhow.
What's it mean exactly, this trial within a trial? Like all the witnesses are called, or what?
Not this time round, I'm afraid. He just wants the officers on the stand to give their evidence a good going over. Once we've opened the case, the jury goes out, the fun begins.
Just so he can look like Mr. Mastermind and we look like a bunch of bent PC plods.
I would advise you of your rights to have a solicitor, friend, or appropriate adult present.
Look, I trust you.
In that case, a colour photograph of the parade will be taken and kept on file.
If I'd known, I'd have dressed up.
What, like they think we duffed him up in the car, do they? I mean, where's the bruises? Did he have any bruises on him, Sarge? Wasn't a mark, was there, when he got to you? I have to say it was very carefully done. What?
PC 363 Loxton.
Shut up, will you, Phil?
But are you saying, Sarge, that
He's
you think...
kidding you, OK? So just shut up.
What time did you pass the entrance to Lassiter's den, officer?
At approximately 10:45.
Tell the court what you saw.
As we turned the corner into Armitage Street, I saw a disturbance taking place in the entrance to Lassiter's den. I stopped the car. I saw the defendant with his hands around a man's neck and he was smashing his head against the door pillar. The man fell to the ground and the defendant then kicked him several times to the body. He then looked in our direction and started to run off.
And what happened then?
I attended to the injured man while PC Loxton gave chase. Just tell him what happened, that's all it takes. I seem to have lost He seemed to have lost consciousness.
Was it raining that night?
There was a slight drizzle.
Slight drizzle. Did it affect visibility?
Hardly at all.
And would you say that Armitage Street was well lit, officer?
The street lamps provide an adequate source of illumination.
Yes. Now, in your statement, you described the assailant as tall, late 20s with greased back hair, and wearing a blue ski jacket?
Yes, Your Honour.
You could distinguish his greased back hair from that distance, could you?
Yes.
Or was it afterwards? After you had spotted my client in the crowd gathering round the complainant and knew him to have a record, was that not what identified him to you, officer, his past record?
No, Your Honour.
Well, you did know Mr. Jameson, however.
I knew him.
Yes, you had in fact attempted to arrest him some weeks before the alleged assault at the Half Moon pub, when he was outside on the pavement minding his own business.
He wasn't minding his own business. He was urinating in a public place.
Yes. He's not quite on a par with a malicious wounding, however.
He was committing an offence.
Yeah, I think we've established at any rate that you knew Mr. Jameson, officer. What I'm suggesting...
I know what you're suggesting.
So would you accept that a degree of prejudice existed in your attitude towards the defendant on the night of his arrest?
No, Your Honour.
Well, can you tell the court what my client said when cautioned? You may consult your notebook.
The defendant said, "You're not pinning this on me, you bastards."
And yet, while being conveyed to Sun Hill Police Station, he made some very frank admissions.
Yes.
Surprising change of heart, wasn't it? How long is the journey from Lassiter's Den to Sun Hill?
25 minutes.
And on a journey lasting 20 to 25 minutes, it would appear that Mr. Jameson was otherwise oddly silent.
It didn't seem odd to me.
Well, according to your contemporaneous note, all he said for the whole journey was, "I owed him one, I sodding fixed his face for him, the bastard."
Yes.
You didn't feel tempted to ask him any further questions, officer?
I thought it better to wait to question him under proper interview conditions.
When his solicitor was present, you mean?
Yes.
And when his solicitor was present, isn't it true that he made no admissions at all? He denied absolutely that he'd been Mr. Finley's assailant.
He'd had time to think, hadn't he? He was still very drunk when he was in the car.
And the effects had worn off when you interviewed him at 12:23?
Yes, they had worn off.
Isn't it the case, officer, that you attempted to persuade my client on that car journey that his interests might be better served if he were to come clean?
No.
In fact, if he didn't confess, things might get very unpleasant. It might be possible to arrange a little accident at the station. One of those little accidents that happen at stations when admissions are thin on the ground.
Objection, Your Honour. My learned friend's inference is deeply offensive.
Indeed. Mr. Warner, the court will not tolerate such inferences.
I apologize, Your Honour. Let me rephrase the question. Did you say you'd arrange a little accident, officer?
No.
Did you promise my client that if he cooperated, he'd be home before morning?
He was asked for his cooperation. No promises were made to the defendant.
No promises and no threats?
No.
Not in so many words, anyway. But your threat did not take the form of words, finally, did it, officer? It was more by way of a gesture. Can you tell the court what happened when you went into the defendant's cell to inform him that you were ready to interview him?
Nothing. I informed him I was going to interview him. That was it.
You did go into his cell, however. You didn't just call him from the door.
Yes. No, yes, I went in. I really can't remember.
Perhaps I can jog your memory, P.C. Loxton.
Let's do a little exploratory surgery, shall we?
What?
I'm going to give you an exercise in sharp interview technique.
Just don't cut any arteries, Gov. We ought to end up like the lads at court.
Won't we?
Sergeant Peters just rang in. Jameson saying he was done over. They're having a trial within a trial.
Oh, no. We won't be doing any of that.
Hey, Gov, why doesn't Reardon want to brief?
Because he trusts us, Viv. Great thing. It's trust that makes the world go round. Isn't it, Mr. Reardon?
So, you knew Mr. Jameson?
Yes, Your Honour.
And knowing him in the police sense of the word, you leapt to the conclusion that he was the assailant?
I saw him climbing all over him, Mr. Finlay.
Despite being behind your brother officer, P.C. Loxton, you got a clear view, did you?
I was behind and to the right.
So nothing blocked that view, did it?
No, Your Honour.
Not a taxi, waiting for a fare?
Not that I remember, Your Honour.
No. Well, now, You've already marked on the defence plan of the area where you were when you got your first clear view of the defendant. Can you look again at that mark on the plan? You agree that that was where you were?
Roughly.
Oh, roughly, of course. And the second cross identifies the spot where the attack was taking place, is that right?
Yes, Your Honour.
Now, if I were to tell you that the shaded block just to the right of the entrance represented a waiting taxi, would you agree that it must effectively block your sight line to the incident if you were at the spot that you have marked?
I just don't recall a taxi.
We shall call on Mr. Pascoe to say that his taxi was parked there at the time of the incident, officer, and Mr. Pascoe was inside inquiring for a fare.
All this is hypothetical until Mr. Pascoe gives evidence, Your Honour.
Indeed. Mr. Warner?
I was merely forewarning the officer of the presence of the taxi, Your Honour.
I'm sure he stands forewarned.
Suppose I could have been nearer.
Oh, indeed. How much nearer?
A few yards.
But you've already given evidence to the effect, officer, that the attack had ceased a few seconds after you got out of the car. If you did not actually recognize my client until you reached the middle of the street, you cannot say for certain that it was my client who was attacking Mr. Finlay.
I saw him.
May I put it to you, officer, that what you actually saw was my client coming to the assistance of Mr. Finlay as he lay injured on the ground?
No, Your Honour.
I see. And you would point to my client's full and frank admissions in the car to support your view, would you? Can you tell the court what those admissions were?
Mr. Jameson said I owed him one, and I sodding fixed his face for him, the bastard.
Mm-hmm. And that's all?
I'm sorry?
On a journey lasting 25 minutes, that's all he said?
I wouldn't say it was as long as 25 minutes.
Oh, wouldn't you?
No, I'd say it was about 12 to 15 minutes from Armitage Street to Sunhill, depending on the lights.
P.C. Loxton put it at 20 to 25.
Ah, no. Well, we had a slight hold-up.
Oh, did you?
Yes, Your Honour. Just past the corner of Lyndhurst Avenue, near the children's playground, I spotted a girl having a bit of bother. I stopped the car and went to have a look. In the end, it turned out to be a bit of horseplay with a boyfriend.
Can you find an account of that incident in your contemporaneous note, officer?
Sorry?
I'd like you to show us a reference to that incident in your notes. Yes?
I don't seem to have a note of it.
I see.
Just didn't seem relevant.
And was there anything else that didn't seem relevant? For example, what actually happened in that police car on the way to the station? Did you feel that the threats made to my client during the course of that journey weren't relevant either?
No.
No, they weren't relevant? Is that what you're saying, officer?
No, I mean, no, they didn't happen.
What colour jacket was Mr. Finlay's assailant wearing? Mr. Finlay's assailant, what colour jacket was he wearing?
Grey, Your Honour.
You're sure about that?
Quite sure.
Thank you, officer. That's very helpful. No more questions.
I mean, we've had a positive identification of you, Eddie. Very positive identification. So do yourself a favour. Get yourself a brief. I mean, it's got to be worth a couple of 100 packets of those things in the long run. Let's face it. It was a bit of a mistake, wasn't it? Helping Angie Waite to con her local building society out of a loan. You got a bit too close to her with that 100-watt smile of yours. What was it? Getting a bit desperate? Losing your touch? Did you make any other mistakes after that one, did you? Did ya?
I just told him we stopped for a couple of minutes.
What for?
Well, we saw that kid, remember, and she was lying on the ground.
Why did you tell him?
He kept on about the journey being so long and Jameson only saying 2 things.
Yeah, but you hadn't made a note of it, had you? It was a total cock-up,
It
wasn't
just got me going, that's all. Nothing I said sounded right.
Well, it was.
I suppose so.
What do you mean, I suppose so?
Oh, leave it out. You're sounding like him.
So, at no time while you were attending to the suspect, making him mugs of tea and sending out for cigarettes, do you remember an officer come into Mr. Jameson's cell and relieve himself in the toilet bowl in front of him?
No, Your Honour, certainly not.
But then you were not actually present in the cell, were you, when the arresting officer came to collect Mr. Jameson to take him away to the interview room?
No.
It was P.C. Loxton who came to collect my client, was it?
Yes, it was.
And would you agree that such a gesture would amount to a most blatant flouting of a suspect's rights?
I would indeed, if it ever happened.
Oh, and are you sure that it didn't happen on this occasion, Sergeant?
Mr. Jameson made no complaint to me, Your Honour.
Not at the time, no. Possibly he was too shaken?
I'm sure that no officer in my charge would ever perform such an action.
No. Indeed. Now, perhaps you can just solve one mystery for us, Sergeant. According to the custody record, what was the colour of the jacket you removed from Mr. Jameson that night?
Blue, Your Honour.
I see.
It's getting out of hand.
Can you get Reardon's brief in here?
Sure. You said he didn't want a brief.
No, I want it.
He's signaling for something. It's the first time I've heard you ask for it.
I've got a feeling about this.
So, look, who is his brief, anyway?
Well, I don't know whether that's the one from before, but that's the stuff from 85. Remember the benefit scam?
Yeah, we'll give it a go. There it is. He's a she. Makes no difference anymore.
I just don't like what happened in there.
You think I did, having that Pratt Warner running off at the mouth?
He made some very serious allegations about what happened when Jameson was in my care.
Yeah, and you believe Jameson, do you, Sarge?
I'd like to believe you, Loxton, but just at this moment, I can't.
There was a pack of lies in there, start to finish.
Was it?
What? I have to prove it to you, do I? I'm on trial or something?
All the time.
Just because Phil fell apart on the stand.
Oh, Phil did he?
Yeah, he even got the jacket colour wrong, just to help things along.
Look, I'm sure it was grey. It was grey.
Oh, come on, Sarge, it was down in the custody record. Don't tell me Warner's made you throw that out the window and all.
From where he was standing, it was grey. That's what the streetlights would have done to it. But you weren't looking, were you? As soon as you saw it was Jameson, you had him banged to rights before you crossed the street.
You mean never arrest vicious drunks with a string of past cons, do you, Sarge? Give him the benefit, do we? Pat on the shoulder?
You can avoid having a pee in their cells anyhow.
The judge has thrown it out. Warner's application. He's letting the admission stand.
That's all right then, isn't it? Must have seen it was all a pack of lies. I mean, Jameson had no defence, did he?
Not if your identification of him was correct, no.
Well, the judge is saying he believes us, isn't he?
Yes, well, he's famous for preferring officers' versions of things, this judge. If it had been someone else on the bench, you might not have been so lucky.
Whose side's she on?
You won't be called until tomorrow now. You'll have to go through the whole thing again then.
Thank you.
Oh, well, at least it'll be for real.
It was for real just now.
Right, Eddie. Your brief's on the way.
What?
We like to do things properly at Sunhill. Wouldn't want to deny you the benefit of her sound advice.
I don't want her.
She should be here any minute.
I want the interview to continue.
Best to hang on.
It's my right to be interviewed.
Ready to talk now, are you?
Yeah.
Right. Set her rolling.
Fit, are we?
Not really.
Well, what happened?
Excuse me.
Yes, ma'am, can I help you?
I'm Elizabeth Saunders.
Yes?
Mr. Reardon's solicitor.
Oh, yes, I'm with you now. He's in the interview room right now.
I'm surprised he sent for us. We haven't heard from him for ages. We thought he must have gone to someone else. January 89, in fact. Oh, no, hang on. That was just something we did for a friend of his. Somebody Wade.
Wade?
Spot of conveyancing.
Really?
At the conclusion of your last interview, you didn't seem to have anything to say. Now, I asked you about your connection with Miss Angela Wade. Miss Wade has identified you as the man who helped her in a fraudulent mortgage application. We now believe that you are the man behind several other fraudulent mortgage applications. Sorry? I can't hear you, Mr. Reardon. Can you speak up, Mr.
Don't hit me!
No, don't leave it!
Don't hit me! Don't hit me, Blindside!
Suspect began beating his head on table and against the wall, causing an abrasion to left side of face and a cut to nose. Right, do it.
I'm now terminating the interview with Edward James Reardon.
Look, I just don't see the problem.
Don't you?
There was a load of mudslinging in there.
And some of it stuck.
Doesn't matter, does it, Sarge, about the poor sob with 3 cracked ribs and a face they never sewed back together. He doesn't come into this, does he?
No, he doesn't.
Don't worry, pal. Not what it looks.
Any of my release without my permission.
Ah, yes, miss.
Hi, I'm looking for Bobby Cryer. I believe he's attached to this station there.
Bobby?
Been a few years since you were a bobby, eh, son?
Read it. I'm Sergeant Cryer. How can I help you?
Gail Roper, solicitors for Barlow and Company. Normally I would have phoned, but as I was almost passing... here we are. Can you be in our office for 12 o'clock? I know it's rather short notice, but you may, as they say, learn something to your advantage.
Well? Yeah, I suppose I could make it, but you have to tell me what it's about.
Right. Well, we're handling the estate of the late Matilda Lane.
Tilly Lane, dead?
Afraid so. 12 o'clock, then.
Yes, fine. I'll be there then, yeah.
See you then.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Poor old Tilly, eh? Well, she wasn't old. Not that old, anyway. And what can you learn to your advantage from an old brass like Tilly Lane?
An old brass?
You just read that.
Something special in her day, Tilly was.
So why's she leaving Sergeant Cryer something in her will?
Who knows? Services rendered, maybe.
All her things, ever since she was a baby. Even her oboe. What they didn't take, they desecrated. Here it is.
Someone at the door, Mr. Winters.
Excuse me.
I'm sorry. I didn't know you was connected.
It's all there. You will tell Ralphie. I brought it all... Shit!
You want a laugh, Gov?
Try me.
One of our burglars has seen the light. He's brought the loot back and apologised to the owner.
Well, the age of miracles isn't dead then. Who was it?
Ray Grant. Loxton happened to be there, so he grabbed him. Ted's talking to him now.
Well, maybe he can clear up a few others at the same time.
Oh, I doubt it. He's only admitted to one.
Well, something wrong there, Tosh. The loser wasn't another villain, was he?
No way. Paragon of virtue. An old bloke called Winters, retired school teacher. Seems to be on his last legs, according to Loxton. Seems to be keeping his hand in by doing a bit of tutoring at Wandsworth.
Does he now? Do you reckon Ted Bolton's still at Wandsworth?
They'd have to close the place if Ted retires.
I don't see why you're complaining.
Because it upsets my thinking. When villains start returning their ill-gotten to their victims, what's the world coming to, I ask myself? All right. This act of contrition, was that before or after your facelift?
It's got nothing to do with it. I told you, I fell.
And the pavement came up and hit you half a dozen times, did it? All right, what about the rest of them? Might as well make a clean breast of it while we're at it.
What rest of them?
I mean the other 6 break-ins in the same area with your paw marks all over them.
I don't know nothing about no other break-ins.
Oh, come on, Grant. Same time of the evening, same means of entry, same messy job. What was different about this geezer Winters?
I don't know nothing about no other jobs.
Detective Inspector Burnside entered room at 10:21 a.m. You got your notebook?
Yeah.
You mentioned a name.
No, I didn't.
When you turned up at Charles Winters' house with the gear...
Nah. I didn't say nothing.
You will tell Ralphie I brought it all, and then he spotted me, Sarge.
Ralphie who?
Nah. I didn't mention no name.
Calling this constable a liar?
He made a mistake, that's all.
Let me tell you something about P.C. Loxton. He doesn't make mistakes. He's the proverbial pain. He never gets it wrong. How many Ralphies do we know could put this much fear into a man?
How about Ralphie Pender?
So, who's a dark horse, then?
What's that supposed to mean?
Tilly Lane. Now, why would an old tart like Tilly Lane be dropping a few quid in your direction?
If I were you, Tom, be very careful before I said anything else.
Come on now, Bob. You might learn something to your advantage. That's legalese, for there's a few quid coming your way.
What did Alec do? Take notes and hand out photocopies?
I don't see why a rat like Pender would be looking after the interests of someone like Charles Winters. A so-called pillar of society. I want to know the connection, Ted. Find out all you can about him, down to his underpants.
You want me to go to Wandsworth?
No. No. You see Winters. I'll see Pender.
Winters? Where do I know that name from?
That. Get it off there.
Oi, Bobby! What's all this I hear about you and Tilly Lane?
Last news of the world, he's giving out bulletins.
What have I done?
I'll take it this isn't just a social call.
Relax, Pender. Sit down. I'm just checking you're still here.
I'm here, Burnside. I've got my head down, getting my time in.
Keeping your reputation intact till you get back out on the streets.
I'm well out of that now.
Who am I? The prison chaplain.
What's all this about? I'm not looking for any hassle. Ask around. I'm doing my time, keeping my nose clean.
Tried telling that to Ray Grant.
Grant?
He's got a new angle on housebreaking. Next day, he takes the gear back.
This keeps up, you'll be out of a job. So what's all this got to do with me?
I don't waste my time, Pender. He didn't take that stuff back because Winters asked him nicely. He was lent on. Severely.
So?
Leave it out. I'm not asking if you've seen to it. I'm asking you why.
I can't help you, Burnside. I told you I'm out of it. I'm a changed man.
Changed? Hurting people is a drug to you, Pender. You couldn't give that up to save your miserable life.
What would you know, Burnside? Who are you to judge people? Time to go, Mr. Bolton. I need the fresh air of my cell.
Mr. Winters! Mr. Winters! Detective Sergeant Rhodes, Sunhill CID.
Well, this is service indeed. I suppose you have brought my property back.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir. We have to produce it in court as evidence.
My daughter's over.
That as well, I'm afraid. I'm sorry, Mr. Winters, but the officer who caught the thief didn't know anything at all about your Victoria. Do you understand? That inquiry was dealt with by the murder squad, not by Sunhill.
Yes, I suppose it's just one amongst many for you people. A 16-year-old girl is abused and murdered in her own home. Her mother dies of shock. Her family is devastated, but it is just one amongst many. I do understand.
We're not entirely insensitive, Mr. Winters. Do you mind if we go inside?
Now, what can I do for you, then?
The man who broke into your house, do you know him? Can you think of any reason why he would suddenly decide to bring back the stuff that he stole?
I'm sure he had his reasons.
So what's he up to, Ted?
He's a changed character, Frank.
You don't believe all that rubbish, do you? Ralph Pender, he'd get withdrawal symptoms if he went a week without a punch-up. How many heads has he cracked since he came in here?
I know it might sound unbelievable, but he has changed, believe me. He's steady. Reckons he wants letters after his name.
He's already got letters after his name. Ralph Pender, GBH.
Why would Ralph Pender be looking after your interests?
My recollection is the thief said Ralphie. I didn't hear a surname.
Well, we've got every reason to believe it was Ralph Pender.
The thief confirmed this.
We're sure it was Pender. You do know him, don't you?
I'm sure you know as well as I do that I've been a prison visitor for many years. And since retiring from teaching, I've been tutoring as well. So yes, I do know Ralph.
Indeed, I regard him as a friend.
A close friend?
I'm not such a fool that I can't see where your questions are leading, but no. I did not ask Ralph to arrange the return of my property.
But you did tell him about the break-in.
Sorry. My pills. I should take more care, I know.
Sergeant Cryer.
Sorry to intrude.
No, come in.
Mr. Cryer. I'm not surprised you don't remember me. Must be, 16 or 17 years after all. Chell Rose, Tilly's kid.
Oh.
Have I changed that much?
Well,
You haven't. Just as I remember him.
Yes, well, thanks for popping in. It's just that Mrs. Lane has left you a small bequest.
She never forgot the young constable who saved her child's life. Neither have I.
£1,000.
Well, that's very generous, but I'm really...
Wasn't all immoral earnings, Mr. Cryer. She invested wisely, Mum did.
Oh, I'm not judging. I thought a lot of Tilly. Everyone did.
True. Well, I've finished my business, so I'll let you get on with yours.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's nice to have met you. I'm sorry to hear about Tilly.
Oh, she lived a full life.
That she did.
Bye.
How long can you delay execution of the will?
Why would I want to do that?
If that woman's Tilly Lane's daughter, there's something seriously wrong with my eyesight.
I've just had a bellyful of Ralph Pender.
Suppose he's confessed all it.
You seen Winters?
I just got back.
Is he all there or what?
What do you mean?
Ted Bolton reckons he's taken Pender under his wing. Now, anybody who does that's got to have a screw loose somewhere.
His only daughter raped and murdered. His wife dead as a result. His house has been done over, and to top it all, he's got a wonky ticket. I'd say he was holding up all right.
Ain't got a lot more to lose, has he?
Not a lot.
Do you think he's capable of murder?
Murder? Nah, he's too old, too frail. Wouldn't have the bottle.
What? Not even if it was the cretin who killed his daughter?
Not even Cosgrove. Oh, I know he'd like to.
Well, if he hasn't got the guts to do it himself. What's Winter's house worth?
No idea. Must be a fair bit these days.
200 grand?
Could be a lot more.
Not a bad fee for a hit.
I don't get your drift.
Ted Bolton reckons Winters has made his will. And a sole beneficiary is Ralph Pender.
Well?
Well, what?
Come on, Bob. Tilly Lane.
I've got a phone call to make, then I've got to speak to CID, Alec. Christine Black, please.
Leave you her whips and shackles then, did she?
Are you still publishing this?
Lips are sealed.
She left me £1,000. What? It's going into the dependents fund. Now, will you scram, Alec? I'm busy. But, Alec, can we have an end to the wisecracks?
Yeah, we'll consider it done.
Yeah, Sergeant Cryer, Sun Hill. Yeah, I'll wait.
Sarge, if you don't want the kinky boots, there's a few of us who'd like to make you an offer.
Morning, Frank. Morning, sir. I wanted to talk to you about this fella Winters.
Oh, yeah. How are you planning to handle it?
Well, I think we should lean on the pair of them, but concentrate on Winters. I mean, Penders has been there hundreds of times. He don't worry easily.
The man has a dicky heart. You know what the press would do to us if it went wrong.
No, we're not talking about shoplifting, Gordon. I mean, this is conspiracy to murder.
Assuming you're right.
I know I'm right. Look, he's not a hard case. I lean on him a bit, he's going to cough. I mean, what other possible reason could anybody have for dropping Ralph Pender a mega earner?
Have you considered the possibility that Winters might be all he seems? A lonely, insignificant little man bent on giving a con the chance he's never had.
Yeah, I've considered it for all of 10 seconds. Winters hasn't found a son. He's found a muscle to do the job he'd love to do himself but hasn't got the guts to. Put Cosgrove 6 feet under.
I take it you've advised both prison governors?
Tosh Lyons did that yesterday.
You better be wearing kid gloves, Frank.
Like he was my own mother.
Strictly by the book, then.
Anything you say.
And I don't want his heart giving out.
Trust me.
I'm happy to be of assistance, though I have to admit I'm a little perplexed by it all.
I had reason to visit Ralph Pender in Wandsworth yesterday.
Really?
While I was there, I learned that you've made him the sole beneficiary in your will.
That's an open secret, Inspector. Why are the police interested in that?
Pender has a long record of violence. We only know of 2 reasons why anyone would pay Pender money.
Go on, I'm intrigued.
Firstly, if they're in fear for their own safety. The other reason is if they're paying Pender for his services.
You obviously don't believe in the possibility of reform.
Now, I can't think of any reason that you should have to fear Pender, which leaves me wondering what possible service he could do you. See my problem?
What a fertile and cynical imagination you have, Inspector. Yet so strangely lacking in human perception.
How did you find me?
A friend in social services.
It's a bit strong.
Strong's all right.
And this woman?
Well, she knew everything about you, apparently. Certainly enough to claim to be Tilly's daughter.
Apart from the obvious.
Well, she must have known Tilly pretty well. Cheers. Solicitor tells me your mum spent the last few years of her life in a nursing home.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
Have a seat.
thanks. Well, could have been someone from there.
I hadn't seen Mum for years. Not since my kid was born. I didn't even go to the funeral.
Well, it couldn't have been easy.
Having a brass for a mother? No, it wasn't. And I don't want her money either.
Well, that's up to you. But I'd still like you to come round to the solicitor's office. I've asked this girl Roper to bring the woman back this afternoon.
I have to pick my daughter up from school.
Well, I could pick you up first, say about 2:30, yeah?
Yeah, all right.
Look, it's a considerable estate.
You mean a single black woman with a kid shouldn't be turning her nose up at easy money?
You tutor lots of cons. So what's so special about him? How come he qualifies for the jackpot?
I mean, surely there are more deserving causes. Why not leave it to famine relief? Oxfam.
I didn't deliberately set out to find an heir, Sergeant Roach. Ralph and I just hit it off from the start.
Prize pupil, eh?
You might say that.
Well, he's certainly top of the class. But not in the way you're trying to put over.
I'm sorry, Inspector.
Shall we just get down to it?
I'd be obliged if you would.
I believe that you've contracted Ralph Pender to kill Derek Cosgrove. And this legacy is by way of a payoff.
What an interesting idea. However, since Ralph is in Wandsworth and Cosgrove is securely locked away in Durham, it hardly seems possible, does it?
Don't try and kid me. You don't know the score, Winters. You know that there are cons in Durham who would top Cosgrove just to get on Pender's Christmas list.
Well, if you say so.
Do you know what puzzles me, Charles? Is how you could possibly go back to working with cons again after what Cosgrove did to your daughter. He was one of the ones you went to visit, wasn't he? One of those you made a friend of.
And Cosgrove got what he deserved. Life, wasn't it?
She was young, beautiful, talented, with a wonderful future ahead of her. Life. 9 years, maybe, with remission for good behavior. Good behavior, dear God. You think that was a just punishment for what he did to my daughter and my wife?
That's the way the law sees it, Charlie. Still, maybe he's got himself a tutor. Like Ralphie. Working hard. Letters after his name. Maybe he's reformed.
I think you'd better leave.
I'm onto you, Winters. Watching you like a hawk. And you've seen the last of Ralph Pender. Your prison career is over. Get it?
Some things cannot be stopped, Inspector. They are preordained. Absolutely inevitable.
Sorry to kept you waiting, Mrs. Roper.
What? What's going on?
All right, you can drop the act.
What act?
You know, you might have carried it off. If you'd have left immediately after the reading of the will, I wouldn't have met you and no one would have known what was going on. You obviously knew everything there was to know about Tilly and her daughter, didn't you? Except the one thing that Tilly would never have thought worth mentioning.
Cheryl Price, I'm arresting you for attempted fraud. I must advise you that anything you say...
Skip it, lover, I know the drill. I nursed her for 3 years, I did. And there wasn't a day went by when she didn't talk about you. She was the real McCoy, Tilly was. And you didn't deserve her.
Charlie Winters thought he was a smart ass too. But he knows better now. I've painted a crystal clear picture for him. Lent on him a little. Know what I mean, Ralphie?
You did what?
He should have stayed out of the kitchen.
You're a bigger bastard than I thought.
All that education hasn't been a total waste of time then.
You've got Ted Roach on the blower. I think you ought to take it, Frank.
Yeah, I'm at Charlie Winter's house. He's paid off the contract. Yeah, those pills he kept for his heart. Looks as though he's taken a year's supply. Yeah, he left a note. He wishes to be buried with his wife and his daughter, and he exonerates anyone from blame. Oh, and he says that his will still stands.
He's done it, hasn't he?
He's dead, if that's what you mean.
Yes, Charlie. What have you got to say now, copper?
You ain't got his money yet.
You still don't get it, do you? You think I saw him as a soft touch?
Give us a minute, Ted. So, educate me, Ralph.
He cared. Charlie did. For real. I mattered to him. I owe him Burnside. Everybody thought he was a wimp, but he didn't go out with his tail between his legs, did he? He topped himself. Now that takes guts. And I knew he had it. You know what he's saying, don't you? He's saying, I trust you, Ralph. I'm out of it now, and the money's yours, but I'm trusting you to do the job.
That would be really stupid.
Charlie and me had more in common than you think, filth. That little pervert Cosgrove did for him, and he'll answer to me for it.
Why risk it? You don't have to. There's nothing in it for you anymore.
Absolutely, Mr. Burnside. Whatever you say.
Anyhow, it's too late, Pender. We've had him moved from Durham.
Of course. What else?
Just leave it, Pender. Do your time, take the money and run.
Too late, Burnside. You should read Treasure Island. Your man Robert Louis knew what a black spot was.
Sir.
I want to make a complaint.
What sort of complaint, sir?
Against one of your officers.
If you wait in here, please, Mrs. Curtis Brown, I'll only be a minute. Skiving?
If I don't get a cheese roll, I'll pass out. Another domestic, eh?
Yeah, what else is new?
I don't like going out on domestics. You never know if the bloke's going to turn around and thump you instead.
Well, at least you can nick 'em for that. Sarge, can we get the doc in? I've got a woman with a cut on her face needs looking at.
Yeah, he's on his way. A couple of the B11s turned on each other, so she'll have to wait her turn. If she's pumping blood, get the first aid kit from the custody sergeant.
So what you're complaining about, sir, is that the officer allegedly shouted at you?
I'm complaining about intimidation. Do you want to write any of this down, Inspector?
Complaints against officers are taken very seriously, sir.
I should hope so.
They're all given the same degree of attention, and it involves a lot of manpower with serious consequences for the officer.
Are you trying to dissuade me? Because it seems to me that anyone trying to coerce a member of the public into not making a complaint against one of his men is equally likely to be complained about himself.
Hurry up with those teas.
Sugar in yours?
Shut up in there!
Can I have the first aid kit, Sarge?
Yeah. Make sure it gets back to the surgeon's room, will you?
We've got a full house.
Prison officers dispute.
June's bringing someone in.
You'll have to stop out here. The cell's a chock-a-block.
Good morning, Sergeant.
Good morning to you, sir. What's all this, then?
Well, we were called to a disturbance in Greyley Gardens, Sarge. We got there and found this gentleman trying to break down the bathroom door. His wife was locked inside. She had a cut face. She said that he'd hit her and that she was prepared to make a statement and go to court.
You've heard all that. What you got to say about it?
This isn't the first time this sort of thing's happened, Sergeant. Although the police haven't been involved before. It's rather awkward to explain.
Are you admitting the assault, then?
There was no assault. Well, not by me, at any rate. My wife, you see, hasn't been quite herself lately. Look, I will explain, but it might take some time. May I ring my partner first? I really must let them know I shan't be going in.
Cheryl, isn't it?
Yes.
I'm sorry we have to talk in here. I know it's a bit stark, but we don't have a comfort suite. Not that we couldn't do with one. No space. Now, this might sting a bit. Sorry. It's nothing to be ashamed of, you know.
You're just a young girl.
Do you want to talk to someone else?
It isn't easy to talk about.
Was everything normal when you got up this morning?
Yes. The children had breakfast and went out.
Do they live with you?
Yes. Sally's 20 and Adam's just 18.
So they went out as normal. Then what happened?
Well, I wanted to speak to him about the children. Adam's about to go up to university and Sally wants to find a flat. Richard, my husband, is against her leaving home. He thinks she's too irresponsible to manage. It developed into an argument and, well, things just got out of hand.
It was a row about my daughter that escalated out of all proportion. My wife was throwing anything she could lay her hands on. Must have sounded horrendous. The cut, I'm afraid, was accidentally self-inflicted. She was completely out of control. It's hormonal changes. She suffered for some time and refuses treatment. Anyway, she threatened to do something and locked herself in the bathroom. She has bouts of bad depression, you see. And all I could think of was my razor blades in there and what she might do to herself. That's why I was trying to get in.
Have to see what your wife says about that, sir.
Yes, of course. You must go through your procedures.
Might take a while.
I'm sure of it. My wife has a tendency to, shall we say, embroider incidents.
I know it's difficult.
We were arguing.
I know. But I need you to tell me what he did to you. I need to know how the cut happened.
He said I mustn't let Sally leave home just yet, and then he hit me.
How did he hit you?
Well, like this, with a slap.
Did he have anything in his hand?
I don't think so.
Is he left-handed too?
No, I'm the only one in the family.
Are you sure that's when the cut happened?
I've just remembered. He has a heavy ring on his right hand, and he hit me with the back of his hand. Yes, that's it. That's how he cut me.
All right. Then what happened?
Well, he grabbed me by the hair, punched me in the body, dragged me up the stairs by the hair.
Do you mind if I look?
No, I suppose not.
Did you see the house, Sarge? It's like a mansion.
Well, they're just as bad as anyone else, aren't they?
Miss Marshall?
What's he doing here?
Why, do you know him?
He's my GP. It's a domestic. His wife's in. I'm going to go and check on Rebecca.
This is my chance to see you at work. How are you?
Fine.
You might know why I'm here. Actually, it's a misunderstanding. It will be cleared up.
Look,
Look, I know it's not your case. I must say, it's rather embarrassing that you should come on me in these circumstances.
You taking root, Kath?
Just coming, Sarge.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to compromise you.
If he hadn't tripped, I shouldn't have been able to get away. I ran to the bathroom because it's the only room in the house that has a lock on the door. Of course, when he tripped, he let go of my hair. Did I tell you that?
You all right, Kat? Slimy sod. Oh, you made up your mind already, have you?
Haven't you? We've seen enough of it in here to know.
How's it going?
We're getting there. Is the surgeon through?
No, he's got 7 more to do, but he'll fit you in. Any hidden injuries?
I don't think so.
The husband says she's a drama queen. By the way, there's a new CLO coming today.
Oh, great. I'll probably get hauled up as the released token black again.
Tell Chief Inspector Conway I'm here. Chief Inspector Langham to see him.
Sir?
Sorry about that. Look, I've got to get this first aid kit back. If you'll come with me, I'd like that cut scene too. Just be on the safe side.
I'm sure it'll be all right.
Well, I don't like the look of it. Won't take a minute.
Are you the new community liaison officer? Well, I hope you find everything in order. Pleased to have you visiting us.
What's your name, officer?
PC Garfield.
PC Garfield what?
PC Garfield, sir.
Next time I need horse shit, Garfield. I'll know where to find the horse. Now get on with it.
Yes, sir, it's this way.
Can't we just let it alone?
You'll need his report for the charge, Mrs. Curtis Brown.
Come on, mate. Anyone else?
Right, Doc.
Good heavens. Cheryl.
Ringside seat for us.
Come on!
Wonder you can work in here.
Odour of mankind, sir.
Yes. I've never missed a surgery before. Cheryl might well be proud of herself this time. No, it really is too much.
It's a nasty cut. How did you come back?
Well,
Will it need a stitch?
No. It'll probably leave a small scar. Any other injuries?
No.
You could look at her scalp, if you don't mind, Mrs. Curtis Brown.
Well, no, I suppose not.
How are the children?
Fine, thank you.
I hear Adam got his university place.
Yes.
Shame Sally didn't make it. But I expect she's over that now. I'll give the boy my congratulations. Well, it'll be tender for a while. Don't use strong shampoo and be careful not to aggravate it when brushing your hair. Looks like someone tried to yank it out.
I was mugged. In the street.
I thought the cut looked like a nick from a bluntish knife. Nasty experience, Cheryl.
I'm all right now. And I'm sorry we wasted your time.
Not at all.
Thanks, Doc.
Be sure and give Richard my regards.
I hear your predecessor got promoted. Not exactly. It was more of a sideways move.
Oh, yeah?
He was useless. They've put him out of harm's way.
Well, you did seem to get on with the public, though.
Rubbish. The man couldn't tell the wheat from the chaff. Everyone got the same treatment. People don't want that. They want to see justice done.
Well, that's what we're about, if we were left alone to get on with the job.
That reminds me. A complaint's been lodged against one of your men.
Really?
And I'm really sorry to have wasted your time.
But I know what I saw, and you've more or less told me what happened.
I exaggerated. I'm sorry. The fact is, things have been getting on top of me lately, the children, everything, and I've been taking it out on Richard.
Yes, but is that any reason for him to react as he did?
You don't understand. I cut my cheek accidentally. I did it myself. You have to see things in perspective. And when I locked myself in the bathroom, I threatened to take all the pills. That's why Richard was trying to get in. Do you see?
But I'm worried about my wife. She can be extremely volatile.
The officer can handle her, sir.
She's becoming intolerable, quite frankly. How much longer might there be?
Couldn't say, sir.
There is a limit to everyone's patience. It'll be damned embarrassing for the children if this gets out.
He was winding us up. My first sergeant used to clip me around the ear if I didn't get complaints. Reckoned I couldn't be doing my job properly.
Go on, say you're not worried.
Yeah, I tell you, Tone, I've never heard so many four-syllable words in all my life.
What, from Mr. Mahmood?
He's only a flipping magistrate, isn't he, you pillow?
What
What are you getting your knickers in a twist for? If every packy we shouted at complained, we'd all be out of a job, wouldn't we?
Oh, what's happening? She's bottled out.
Oh. All right, I'll tell the skipper.
No, not yet.
Look, I didn't see an assault, did you? Well, then we're going to have to let him go. We can't hold him if she won't press a charge.
I'm not through yet, June.
Come on, Norrie, you can't force her. You can put her in touch with Women's Aid and the other agencies. That's the best you can do.
Just a bit longer. I want this one.
All right, lad. Loxton, little birdie tells me you've been getting your fair share of complaints lately.
Has he made a complaint against me?
Don't like Packy's son, is that it? I'm not having a pop, I just want to know.
I don't have to talk about that. And I'm not talking. Not till a 163 served on me and I've got Federation backup.
All right, keep your wig on.
Look, I'm not here to give you a hard time, but I'm not fooled by any of this. He hit you, didn't he?
I pushed him to it. You can't blame the man for one slap. He's very good in other ways. He's a good provider. He works hard, but he's got a temper. It's just one of those things.
You don't have to put up with ill treatment. There are laws to help you.
Oh, please. We're not just one of your young newlyweds.
Look, Mrs. Curtis Brown, either you charge your husband or you don't. We want to help you, but you've got to help yourself. It's often worse for the kids. Is that why yours want to leave home?
They don't know anything about it. All right. He is a bully. Is that what you wanted to hear? It's true. Haven't I been humiliated enough? It's all my fault. I should never have started it.
You've got nothing to blame yourself for.
Oh, haven't I? It's all out in the open now. And I just wanted you to make him stop.
I don't know why we bother sometimes. All they get when they get to court is a 15-quid fine and slap wrists. Do you think he knocks her about?
Shouldn't be surprised. But if she's changed her mind, that's that.
It's the same difference. Some of these judges see nothing wrong with slapping your wife around a bit. Probably go home and do it themselves.
What about Quinnan's domestic then?
Which one?
City Hooray Henry kicked his wife down the stairs. First offence, the judge gave him 14 days. Quinnan said his face was a picture, he was that gobsmacked.
Oh, Miss Marshall, any news?
News?
Well, I've got surgery this afternoon.
Oh.
I can't believe this has happened in a police station at my age. The first time in my life. And poor Cheryl, what she must be going through.
I thought she was going through a statement, Dr. Curtis Brown.
My wife wouldn't charge me. The idea is ludicrous.
Is it?
Oh, please, Miss Marshall.
It used to be Mrs. Hooper, remember?
Yes, of course.
I'll be finding another GP.
I thought he'd change, but he got worse. He's so cruel, devious.
I'm listening.
It's the children I'm sorry for. Sally knows. Adam pretends it doesn't happen, and now he's leaving. He's the only person who can stand up to Richard. Richard's such a coward with other men, even his own son. My family wouldn't believe all this. They think he's God's gift. If they could hear the filthy things he says about them.
Forget the family. Tell me what's been happening to you.
He's the master in the house. He can control me with a look. Once he decided he didn't like the way I ate. That time he put my head in the toilet and pulled the chain. Now I'm not allowed to eat with him. He won't let me use the phone. He usually holds me by the hair and punches me in the body. He knows exactly where it hurts, and bruises won't show. He's very careful. He knows how far to go. I can't cope anymore. I'm getting old.
We'll help you now. Now, I'm going to read back to you what you've said from my notes as I write out the statement. And you can stop me if there's anything you're not sure of. Okay? You've got a chance to stop all this.
I suppose you think I'm pathetic?
If you don't do anything, it'll just carry on.
I thought I could go through with it.
You can.
No, you don't understand. I'm frightened. The fear is worse than anything. The hours before an attack, when I know one's coming, are the worst moments of my life. Even when he's hitting me, I don't feel any pain because I'm frightened. I can't stop being frightened. And just now, when I realized that doctor recognized me, I knew I couldn't face it. I can't go into court. I've wasted your time. It's not an easy situation.
I wouldn't put up with it, that's all.
You're a different generation. I'm sorry. The number of times I wanted to grab the children and run out. But I didn't know whether I'd even get to the door, let alone the street. And then what happens? There's my home, my son's education to think of. There's the acquaintances, which I call my friends, half Richard's patients. I can't throw away half my life and start again. I can't.
It's all right, Mrs. Curtis Brown. It's all right.
It cost a lot of money, that's
So
our
much.
point.
She's not going to press charges.
You'll be pleased to hear your wife's not making any charges, Dr. Curtis Brown. You're free to go.
Thank you. And I must apologize for my wife. It's outrageous to have wasted your time like this.
We're used to it, sir. A woman often changes her mind the first time.
What do you mean? She was never in any danger from me?
If you say so,
That'll
sir.
do,
That's a
Jim.
preposterous
The
insinuation.
officer will show you out, sir.
It really was nobody else's business. With my wife, I'll do what I like with her.
Hold it.
Just to let you know, today's occurrence will be recorded in the station incident book. And no, you can't do what you like with her. Because next time we're called out, you're nicked. Got it?
Did you have a word with Loxton?
Yes, sir.
He dropped me in it. The complainant's only a bosom buddy of the new CLO. Don't let it happen again. Eh?
No, sir.
What do you think?
It's hard to say, sir. He played it by the book for me.
He's one of the lads aiming for a pink card, so clock everything. He's not getting anywhere near firearms if he's got a short fuse.
Don't forget, you can change your mind about this later. Just get in touch. Well, if it happens again, call us. Don't worry about wasting our time, even if it's just for a chat.
Thank you.
And use those agency addresses.
Thank you. What about my husband?
He'll probably meet you outside.
What are you doing this afternoon?
Sleeping. This early shift's killing